Here we go, back at it again, ranting in the garage. This past weekend was ADCC and Craig Jones Invitational. Like anyone who's a grappler, we were following that, watching it. There were some badass matches on CJI. It was hilarious in the build-up. Craig Jones is funny as hell, entertaining, keeping things very autistic and goofy, kind of like I like to do with Wrestling Wars, so big fan of that side. Obviously a fan of a lot of the exciting grapplers and wrestlers that they had on it. I like the crossover. Many complaints by a lot of people, even competitors. You could hear the fans booing. I imagine anyone who isn't really into grappling who tried to watch some of the matches that weren't Tackett versus Cade level. There were some boring matches in the bigger ones. There was some boring guard play, people complaining about guard and the rules, and Pat Downey wrestling or wrestlers facing jiu-jitsu guys. You guys already know I'm behind it. You're going to want to get this shirt, the Death to Guard pulling shirt, Wrestling Wars series. There's going to be rash guards and shorts. Follow me on other social medias. Be sure to look. I'll be posting pre-order stuff here too. But that being said, I think I was honestly inspired by watching all that, knowing I have the rule set ready to go to make these crossover matches fair and exciting. I think the pin really makes it exciting when there's the fall on your back and there's refs counting 1, 2, 3. The guy's frantically trying to get off his back. It creates a thrill. It creates a suspense, another dynamic in the action, unlike just laying there. And I'm a jiu-jitsu black belt, guys. I've been rolling forever. I know what it takes to have a guard, and I know why these guys are doing it for $1 million on the line. And why would a guy who's not really a wrestler choose to engage in a stand-up match where there's judges' decision involved so he can get thrown around and look bad and lose and not get the $1 million? Of course they're going to play their strength. There's a time and place for it. If you ever saw me completely exhausted and out of options, couldn't take the guy down, fuck yeah, if that rule set calls for it, I would use it too. I would utilize the guard. But just laying there, not able to really do much, where the passer can't really do much either because the guy's guard is too good and it's difficult to pass without overextending yourself, and you're not going to give that guy the advantage, just like he's not going to, stay in the stand-up affair and choose to wrestle and brawl it out with a wrestler. But then it forces, when they sit down, it forces maybe the wrestler to have to engage in their world. So, I don't know, I feel like a pin is a happy medium. You can still work plenty of submissions. There's even rule sets like the one I competed in, Josh Barnett's American Catch Wrestling Association. They don't have pins, or I'm sorry, you cannot be pinned if you are attempting a submission. So like while you're going for submissions, it's fair game. There's no going to your back in a rear naked choke and pinning yourself, or throwing up a guillotine and pinning yourself. In that rule set, you have to, free yourself of a submission before you can pin the guy, or you have to pass his guard as well. So we kind of run into the same thing, but if you could manage to pass and pin, at least there would be a reward to risk for the pass and go super hard so you can catch the guy on his back without entering into closed guard or having a really dragged out passing sequence. I'm sure you guys have all rolled with people that have amazing guard retention. No matter what, they just always find a way to sneak their leg back in, no matter how hard you're trying to pass. And that's frustrating. I mean, props to those guys for having a good guard skill. But when it's just passer versus, retainer, I don't think that's an exciting dynamic. Even as a fan of grappling, sometimes it is, when there's a good scramble and they're both trying really hard, but I think that's the exception, not the norm. Yeah, really just thinking that pinning and catch wrestling and Wrestling Wars format is going to be the future. You're going to see it. You're going to see it a lot more. The pin could be the answer to the guard. Or even, like I said, maybe you got to pass the guard and avoid submissions to get the pin still. But the element of not being able to just concede to laying on bottom is one of the biggest takeaways from the weekend of watching. I didn't really watch ADCC like many did. People didn't get as interested because all the entertainment and the best athletes kind of went over to CJI. And I really wish I could have gotten in on it, to be honest. I was way too banged up and injured earlier in the year when that was getting announced. Otherwise, I planned to make some noise and meme my way into that tournament and call for it as a catch wrestling champion and a representative of collar and elbow to, try to get some attention and claim my way into one of those brackets. But I was not healthy at that time, unfortunately, and Maybe there will be one next year, but that's all I got for today, guys. Be sure to like, share, comment. Let me know what you thought of CJI. Let me know what you would like to see as rules. Maybe what you'd like to see on Wrestling Wars. Let's hear your thoughts. See you in the next one.